Here are three guys that I'm unmatching from Hinge this week. So after a pretty chill conversation, this guy says, "So what other things are you into?" And I'm like, I really don't know what other things that I'm into. If only there was a place where I could list my interest so other people would know. Next is this guy who always likes me every time I download this app again. His like is always there. And I was like, you know what? I'll give him a try. And the conversation is really boring, and he keeps on messaging me, and then I check his location. Doesn't even live in New York City. Love that for you. Goodbye. And this is the last guy, and I matched with him because I was like, you know what? He's not usually my type of vibe, but like, maybe, you never know. And I'm just gonna let you guys read that one for yourself and just know that we will not be getting dinner when he's
Story
back.
time of the first and last Bumble date I will ever go on. I really wish that I had screenshots for this because that would be iconic, but I've looked everywhere and I don't. Right around when COVID first started, I worked at a hospital for children's sewer slide, and I ended up going on quarantine like the first week it happened. And just for the sake of killing time, I downloaded Bumble, which Bumble has always been my favorite dating app because women can message first, and that's always just been super empowering to me. But at the time, I wasn't really looking for a relationship, and I was more just looking for entertainment and people to troll. This was very much my bad bitch era where I was like, I don't like men and don't care to entertain them. Mind you, even though I was mostly on there to troll, I was still very picky about who I chose to swipe right on. And there was actually very few men that I would actually swipe right on. One day I was scrolling through, and as I usually do, just scrolling left, 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 left. But then I saw the sexiest man I had ever seen in my life. Ever seen in my Bumble. He was, drop dead gorgeous, baby. But when I looked at his Bumble profile, his profession said professional cuddler. Red flags, red flag. But you know, I swiped right anyway. Even though him and I had a course matched, this was just so cringy that my best friend and I laughed about it for 4 days, and I didn't think I would ever be able to message him. Once I had thought I'd come up with a clever enough message, I messaged him and I said, professional cuddling? Did you have to get a bachelor's or a master's degree for that? Low-key being like, yo, what the fuck is this? Obviously, he thought that was pretty funny because he messaged me back and we started messaging back and forth. Let me remind you, I had no intentions on meeting this man face to face. I was just doing this for entertainment. And this is when things get real cringy. We end up exchanging Snapchats, and the first message that he sends me is this long paragraph with emojis telling all about himself, but you could clearly tell it was a copy and paste message that he sent to every female. Obviously, big red flag number 2, but it's not like I was trying to date the man. About a month goes by and we're still talking, but have still never hung out yet. And trust me, he asked, I just kept canceling. Finally agreed to meeting him, and he comes over with his best friend to hang out with me and my best friend. We immediately start playing this drinking card game that I made over quarantine, which was bad idea number 1. Sitting next to me, my best friend and his best friend are sitting across the bed, and I pull out a card that says, kiss the person to your right. So I look at him like this. He looks at me like this. Just go like this and kiss him, and it was the worst kiss I've ever had. Extremely awkward. 3 years later, we're still together.
So, I'm trying to get out there more in the dating world, and I've been swiping. I've been trying to, meet the love of my life. And I'm off to a great start. I wanted to share one of my messages. So he had this prompt, like, I'll roast you. I liked it. And then he's like, oh, want me to roast you? Yeah, okay. So this is what he says to roast me. Like, okay, harmless. Then I said this, which, that's pretty good, but it's like not that mean or anything. And I thought it was just going to be that, and then, he was going to ask me on a date, but then he says this. Then he goes to my Instagram, DMs me, zooms in on a picture of my feet, and says this.
Story time. So, I've been using Bumble BFF to make new friends in my city. So I get a message from this woman, and I say woman because she's older than me. She's 43. So I get a message from this woman. You know, she's cute, you know, dresses nice, seems pretty cool, funny personality, blah, blah, blah. Things that I like. So she's like, "You're very pretty. Are you bi?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. But I'm on the Bumble BFF section, not the dating section. I've never used the dating section of Bumble." So I'm like, "Why are you on this side trying to pick up women?" So I'm like, "Yeah, blah, blah, blah." We talk, exchange numbers. We find out that we live in the same area, maybe like 15 minutes away from each other. And that's rare when you live in Houston. So, she's like, "Well, let me take you out one day. Tell me, where is your favorite restaurant? Everything's on me. I'll take you out." So I agree. Reluctantly, I agree. So we met up yesterday. We were supposed to meet up at 7:30. I didn't get off work until like almost 8 o'clock. So I text her and I'm like, "Can we please reschedule? I just got off. I'm extremely tired." And I don't check my phone. I put my phone away. I go home. I live like 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes from my job. The place we were supposed to meet at was like also like 10 minutes from me, 5 to 10 minutes away from me. So pretty close. So I get home. I don't check my phone. Take my shower. I'm ready to get into bed, Netflix, and chill by myself. Look down at my phone. I have 6 messages from her. And she's like, she sends me a picture of her in front of the place. She's like, "I'm already here. I really wish you wouldn't have canceled on me. I can't reschedule this weekend. I have a really hectic weekend, so I can't do another day." So at this point, I feel shitty. I feel bad. So I hurry up and get dressed. I make it there. I'm already like an hour late. I feel bad. I feel horrible. I really didn't want to come, but I still feel bad. So we get there. I'm already still in a little funk because I'm tired. I'm on my period also because I'm a little bitchy. But I try to get in a good mood for her. So I'm not hungry, so I just order a drink. We start chatting, blah, 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 and I notice her hand's pretty sparkly. So I'm like, she would have told me if she was married. We continue talking. We're about two to three drinks in, and she slips up and says, "My husband." Bitch, what? What the fuck you mean you're married? That's not even the worst part, guys. Tell me why her husband shows up to the fucking date.
Part two. So, we're sitting in a booth. I'm sitting with my back to the door. She's sitting facing the door. So we're talking mid-conversation. I just see her like looking around me, and she's just like staring at somebody, like scared or something. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? So I'm looking at her. She's looking at him, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And I look behind me, and it's a man. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, am I about to get ambushed? It's about to be the cheaters van. You're about to kidnap me. Like, my mind is going 1,000 miles per minute at this point. So she's like, "Just go home. Just go home. It's okay. Just go home." So he leaves, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't think you were going to show up. I thought you were going to ghost me. So I told my husband to meet me here and just have dinner with me. And I guess he's been texting me, and I haven't checked my phone since you got here because I didn't want to be rude." Bitch, what? So I'm really on edge because by this point we like 6 drinks in. So I'm like, what is gonna happen? Like, when I leave, they're about to kidnap me. I'm about to get snatched up, put in a white van. They're about to ship me overseas, and I'm about to have to sell my body for $2. And I'm not even gonna get the $2. I gotta get the $2 to somebody else. So I'm gonna be selling my body for free in another country. Like, my mind is going crazy at this point. So I'm thinking, what the fuck can I do? How can I escape? I text a group chat with my sisters. I send my location. I don't say nothing. I just send my location. So I fake it the rest of the date. I pretend like everything is cool. But she's just like, yeah, he lets me have a girlfriend even though we're married. He gives me my privacy. I have a girlfriend on the side, and he just minds his business. Bitch, what the fuck do you think this is? So I'm like, okay, you didn't think you should have told me you were married while we were texting? And she was like, "No, I just think that's a conversation that needs to be had in person." Bitch, give me the option to know if I want to fuck with a married person or not before I meet up with you. Because if I knew this, I really would have ghosted you. So she texted me today
Like everything was cool. Good morning, beautiful. I hope you have a good day. Libra on red. She texts me a couple hours later. Did you have lunch? Do you need anything? I can bring you something. Still left her on red. A couple hours later. Can I come over? And sends me like the tongue emoji like with the water. Bitch, you're doing too much because now it's feeling real setup-ish. Move around. So I had to block that old ass bitch. So on to the next.
Time I dated someone who openly said they did not enjoy dating someone who has a facial difference. Start that by saying that in no way am I condoning dating someone that you are not attracted to. But he did know what I look like before we started dating, so let's start there. I matched with this guy on Bumble, and I used photos that completely represented what I look like. I'm not a catfish. My photos very much showed that I do have a facial difference. We started talking, we hit it off really, really well, and there were two main things that had me going, wow, this guy is really, really great, and this could be a really good thing. The first thing about this guy was he was a preacher, which all that told me is that he's a man of God and that surely a preacher is not going to judge someone based off of how they look. That was wrong. We also had the exact same birthday. He was just a year older. And the craziest thing was we were born in the exact same hospital 2 hours away from where we live. And that's almost unheard of because it's a very, very small country town. So to be born in the same hospital on the same birth date, that's a little weird. This man was also saving himself for marriage, which told me that he wasn't a player, he wasn't just after one thing. With all of that information, things seemed to be looking up. They seemed to be going really, really well, and I had super high hopes. I honestly thought he was the one. We even went on vacation together for a few days, and it seemed like things were fine. He didn't act weird. He took me out on dates. He was the perfect gentleman. Until out of nowhere, he ghosted me. He just stopped talking to me completely. He blocked me on everything, removed me from Facebook. There was no way I was getting in touch with this man, even though we had been dating for a few months, went on vacation, had a lot in common, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't until a few months later, when I had already moved on and was completely happy, that he texted me and apologized. He said that God was calling him to apologize to me and tell me the truth as to why he broke up with me. He said that he could not handle being stared at everywhere we went. He couldn't handle dating someone who didn't look like everybody else, and he did not think that he was capable of dating someone who was born different. That was the first and last time that has ever happened to me, and I respect his honesty, even though it took a few months and a little bit of guilt, but I can appreciate the honesty. And then a month later, I met the person that I am going to marry. So